everyone, I'm your lovely host Innocent, and welcome to a story time video. It's not really a story time in the typical sense that you'll see on YouTube. It's more of a get to know me and my weird quirks. This will be in a kind of style that is reminiscent of Leafy is here, in the sense I'm going to be talking over some video games and inserting clips when needed. But you know, I'm just a lazy motherfucker who really doesn't want to show their face sometimes, and today's one of those days. When thinking about how I was going to get this started and what I wanted to talk about first, I wanted to talk about something that really anybody should know about me. And that is, I believe in the paranormal, things that should be unbelievable, supernatural, all those types of things. Because it's really a very deeply integrated part of my being. I've been seeing the paranormal since before I can even remember. I remember as an infant, I was outside for some reason, and I was looking up at the stars, and people would be coming over and looking over me that I've never met in my life, and like playing with me, and it was weird, and then my mom took me inside. It was a thing. But I have many stories from my childhood that I could go into to basically be like, yep, this was my house. These were my experiences with weird shadow people and people creeping in through my windows that weren't actually there. And, you know, stuff like that. But I wanted to focus more on the broader aspect of things and stuff that I believe in. Though I will touch on one story from my childhood, because that was one of the most bone-chilling experiences that I've ever had in my life. But we're going to only tell that story at the end of the video, so you better stay tuned. Now, in a more general aspect of the sense of a paranormal experience, I will say that I believe that I am part of the, psychic spectrum of things, in which I can very much so see apparitions and things that most other psychics usually can't. Since, from my research, most other psychics are more in the hearing aspect of things, in which they can talk with the spirit and hear them and everything. I'm really good at seeing them. They don't tend to... I can't really hear them. They tend to talk to me regardless, but I don't tend to hear them. It's just not something that I've picked up over the years. I'm still trying. I really want to hear them. They seem like they would be really fun to talk with and everything, but that's a story for another time. I also can see auras of people and things and spirits. Like, I can identify a friend walking into a room before I actually see who it is. Or I can identify that my mother is home, even if I can't see her. I can see that, okay, she's in her room, she's over there. I can see that distinctive color that she gives off. Okay, great. And I can also see it in, animals and just spirits in general. Anything that can have a soul has an aura. You know, auras. I don't know, I'm not here to explain what an aura is. Now, like almost any person, I have a few spirits following me. I have my primary spirit guide, which actually just recently I met finally. She's a wonderful person. Wonderful soul indeed. Wish I could have talked to her sooner, but I didn't know she was there. I didn't know they were a thing. I just kind of discovered it, and I was just like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, let's see if I can do this. And it happened, and I did, and it was wonderful. I have quite an army following me. Any other, psychic person or person who can see into the paranormal can definitely tell this about me. But ever since I was little, I was basically blessed with cats as my sworn protector. So I just have an army of spiritual cats following me at all times. And let me tell you, it is the weirdest and strangest thing when you also own cats. Because at least for me, we have to lock up our cats at night because one of them loves to chew on wires, and it's expensive to replace wires. So, no. But we have to lock them up at night. And I'll be doing something on the computer at like 3 a.m, and I'll feel fur brush up against my leg, like a cat's rubbing on me and purring. And I'll freeze because, oh my god, did I forget to lock up one of the cats? And looking around, I'm just like, nope, that was not an alive cat. Okay, good to know. But other than cats, I have one thing that tends to follow me around everywhere I go that I cannot lose, no matter what I do. And this might frighten some people. I know it's frightened many of my paranormal or psychic friends that I've told, but I have a demon following me around. Plain and simple. He's been following me around since before I can even remember what he looks like. And some of you might be like, are you sure it's a demon? Are you positive? Are you 100% on that? And yes, I am. Now some of you are like, okay, how can you tell it's a demon rather than a regular spirit? And I've come to call him either demon or shadow because of the way he acts with me. Mostly because he won't give me his name for obvious reasons of demonic whatever, blah, blah, blah. Regardless, he has a tendency of just following behind me ever so few feet that he wants to follow me in. And he can follow me into public spaces, just not private property. He'll usually stay on the outskirts of whatever home I'm in and or look through the window at me at all times. It's a bit creepy, but you get used to the creepy when you have to live with it for so long, so you know. Other than that, the biggest tipping point when it comes to realizing he's a demon is he can change his appearance at whim. He's not a regular spirit who just kind of stays the same no matter what. And I've noticed through my time with all of this, most spirits tend to portray themselves when they were most happiest in their alive and living life. So you'll see a lot of spirits who died of natural causes rather than being their last, state of being, whether like they were really, really old or whatever. You'll see them in like their 20s when they were really happy and they just met their husband or something. Because that's when they were the most happy and they want to relive that moment as long as possible. So they'll take on when they felt most alive, when they felt the most happiest, because that's what they want. And really, who's going to blame them? Really, who would blame them for that? If you could stay in your 20s for a long-ass time, you'd do it. You know you would. I would. But it's also the point of most demons and people who know about demons they know that demons can change their appearance at whim to whatever suits the situation. And like most spirits, demons are also like they can be at more than one place at once. So I don't know. Obviously, he's been following me around for a long time. He's changed his appearance countless times, but I can tell it's definitely him by the way he acts around me and by the way he follows me. And he has a certain aura and presence to him that is distinctly not of a spirit. Whenever he's more so near me when I'm in public, I can definitely smell sandalwood wherever the fuck I am. And it gets slightly hotter. That's the best way I can explain it. Like most spirits, if you're around them or you'll see anything, the temperature will drop drastically because the spirit is near, or, whatever. But most demons, they tend to raise the temperature a little bit, so, that happens to me. And with research, I'm just kind of beginning to understand that, this is a demon. This is a demon that has been following me most of my life. And the other thing that is unique about him is that he'll feed off of my emotional energy. So I don't tend to get super emotional a lot of the time, but I'll have bouts of, like, I'm crying, but I'm not really feeling anything. And I've noticed that's when he sticks around real close. He feeds off of my emotional energy, basically. From what I'm gathering, I'm not an expert in this. I haven't been trained. I don't really talk to that many people who also deal with these types of things, so I'm not 100% certain on anything. But these are my experiences with the paranormal. So, we're at the end of the video. Or at least almost at the end of the video. I'm guessing you all want that story I promised you. Alright. Go on way back to young Innocent when she was still living in her, like, childhood house. She was so cute and a pudgy little girl doing normal child things in a household with dogs and cats and stuff. Our household was a one-story house. My room was in the back, facing the backyard. I had 2 rooms surrounding me. One was my parents' room. They divorced, so technically my father's room, most of these stories revolve around, and my grandparents' room, which was technically a study/workout room, but turned into a bedroom. Anyway, there was a long hallway down from where these rooms were to the kitchen and living room areas. And they were pretty sizable, not like tiny apartment sizes, but, pretty sizable. And on countless occasions, the spiritual people in my household would see a very, very tall shadow person looming in the corner of the living room that was facing the street. He had this shadow person had a fixation on me. I don't know why, I don't understand. I've moved out of that house, so I never have to deal with it again. But while I was there, living in that house, I'm a natural night owl. I've always been a night owl. So when it came time to go to bed and the house was all quiet, and I was the only one up with maybe my dog at my side, I would remember going into my room, and my room was a pretty safe place for me. That's where I felt the most safe. I believe my mom blessed it or something. I'm not 100% sure on that. It's a memory. I haven't been in that house for a long ass time. So I would, in the middle of the night, want to go get water, because I'm a thirsty bitch. But I would go get water, and we had like a spigot water thingy right at the edge of our kitchen, and the hallway, it was basically right where the hallway ended and the front of the house split into the living room and the kitchen. So in that little split in the hallway, you can see both the living room and the kitchen. So I'm getting my water, and I can just feel eyes staring at me, angrily judging me, and I'm like, oh, that's not good. I don't like this situation. I don't know what's going on, but I don't like it. The realest part in my mind is just like, oh God, I hope nobody's trying to break into my house, because the front of my house, at least in the living room, the left side of the wall and the back wall was 90% window. Of course it was covered by blinds, but it was a window. And people can look through windows. So I always prayed and hoped that nobody was staring through the windows and being like, fuck, someone's up, fucking bitch. Stuff like, angry people. But ever since I was little, I always had the realest part in my mind being like, I don't know. I'm not going to assume anything. And so I'm standing there just still getting my water, because I had a big cup. I had a gigantic cup, and I was filling that thing full of water because it needed to last me another few hours. So I'm standing there filling up my cup, and this stupid spigot is taking forever, and I'm like getting more and more antsy as time passes on, and I hear something shift in the living room. Okay, either the dog is doing something, there's already a burglar in the house, or that's a spirit. I look around, I can see my dog at my door. Okay, not the dog. So that leaves a burglar or a spirit. Do I dare look over my shoulder? Do I? Because if I do, I have to come face to face with either one of those, and I really don't want to if they're staring at me like that angrily. So once I finally get all of my water into my cup, I calmly as I can stand up to my fullest height and glance over my shoulder. I'm just met with black and darkness. I can see nothing. That's odd. There's usually light from outside coming in. I glance up a little bit. Oh, it's the shadow person standing right behind me, staring down at me, hunching over, like to make sure they're inside of the roof, and staring at me. Yeah, that was the most terrifying thing that I saw, because it was just, our ceilings there in the hallway were a bit shorter than in the living room and kitchen area, but they were still at least 6 feet high. So to have this shadow person literally hunching over to see me while still keeping his entire being inside of, like, the spatial area was alarming to see. And of course, when they're staring at you with such intensity and pure hatred, it's something to its own, really. So the moral of that story is, I book it to my room, and then my dog decided to stay guard at my door the entire night because of that. She was such a good girl. She literally laid at my door the entire night, and I loved her so much in the morning after I finally slept. It also took me a long-ass time to go to sleep because the shadow creature decided to go to the end of the hallway where he can stare in at my bed from my door frame. And each time he did that, my dog would growl and make a ruckus and be like, "Get away, it's mine, my human." But that was the story, well, one of the stories involving the lovely, lovely shadow person who inhabited my old living room. If you want to hear any other stories pertaining to my paranormal experiences, tell me in the comments below. If not, I'll go on to the next video where I'm going to basically talk about myself, which I hate doing, but you know, I want you guys to get to know me. And I'm going to do something probably different, maybe about art next time. Who knows? Leave it in the comments. What would you want me to talk about? What do you want to know about me? Just let me know. And I'll probably talk about it. Because these are kind of fun. I mean, I don't know. I haven't edited it yet. And I haven't actually uploaded it yet. And it's, you know, anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you had a wonderful time, and I hope to see you all so very soon. Peace out. Bye-bye.